Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back here. I don't get to do that very often. My name is Gerald Ilukwe. I was managing director of Galaxy Backbone from its inception over two terms, 4 years each, till 2014. So I started with Galaxy in September 2006 and was done in September 2014.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The founding MD.
Well, you could say
We've
that.
had a whole lot of interviews with people, and they keep going back to the founding MD that you laid a very, very good foundation for Galaxy Backbone.
Okay.
And of course, your simplicity, your humility, your professionalism, you talked a whole lot about that. So, can you can you tell us what were some of the major challenges GBB faced then? And then how did you overcome it?
Okay, thank you. Some of the major challenges GBB faced, which I'm not sure they've completely overcome, but we just try to work through those challenges, was the concept of a government-owned service provider company by government, primarily for government. Okay, it was not something that people were used to, especially when you went before and they said the National Assembly, for example, the first time we went before the said budget, they said, how much do you want? And we said, we don't want any money. We just want to be paid for services, that we render. So at that point in time, there was a sort of sister organization, NICHCOMSAT, I'm sure you know about them. So NICHCOMSAT is on the government payroll, Galaxy Backbone is not. So you basically, what you say, you eat what you kill, So it was something that was a bit alien to everybody in government. And also, with the name Galaxy Backbone, there was just that assumption that it was a private company. It wasn't national or Nigerian, this or that. So that was it. And then, in a sense, the strictness around which we set up the company, but we had support from the federal government under the president then, Obasanjo, in the sense of saying, look, we are not going to be like Nitel, we're going to be like MTN, and for you to be that way, it means you have to say no in a lot of places, and then that no will not make you many friends. So, I was a small, tight team, and everybody got in on merit. And so we didn't accept too many CVs, and when we accepted CVs, the people were put through a test. And the people who didn't pass the test, we said to their principals or their sponsors, sorry, the person can take the test as many times as they like, but they have to pass. And then
That was the standard.
yeah, and then of course it's payment for services. Government doesn't pay, and being able to understand. There was also challenges from the private sector, people who could go directly to government MDAs and sell overpriced products to them because we were like an aggregator. And when we came in fact, somebody took Galaxy to court and said we were failing on our mandate because they, the middlemen, were being forced out of business, and government was to create business for companies, not to compete with companies. So there was all sorts of misconceptions. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So now, what we say in your own opinion now, what are some of GBB's biggest achievements that the public may not fully recognize?
Nice question. The intangibles, as you would put it, things grow on you. Being able to say that civil servants, public servants, agencies and parastatals are online. So for example, when we started, just to give you 2-3 random examples, we had 300 and all the sites for the Federal Road Safety Commission were online courtesy of Galaxy. And FRSC had a very dynamic and forward-looking Corps Marshal then, but still has, I guess, I would like to hope, Osta Chidoka. So we worked with them and they said, okay, we need you to connect to all our offices, and we did that. So there was a period in time where their own performance was enhanced. I always told my colleagues, and I had a good team, that we don't discuss technology. We discuss the impact the technology we offer has on the performance of the organizations we serve. Yeah, so that's the reason for existence for Galaxy. It's not to say, oh, we have this and that, so that's not it. INEC had a data center, equipment room, whatever, and we offered them the backup. So if for any reason, you had, especially sensitive election periods, you say, oh, I know there was a time they had some tanker try to run into their building in Wusitu, there. You say, look, we have a backup of this, so again, that's a service that you offer. NIMSI, we provided the technology platform for them to be able to reach their own offices as well. So it's not in terms of what we do per se for ourselves. It's in terms of how we enable our customers, so that's what I'd like to think that we did.
Nice. Okay, this is amazing. So now, if you were to describe GBB in one sentence, I mean GBB's legacy to 20 years in one single sentence, what would it be?
Surviving against all odds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How would you say so?
Well, because like I said, it's despite the pronunciations coming out of the government, public sector across several administrations, so it's not limited to any particular administration. What you have is, at the end of the day, everybody understands that the concept of a single technology platform to serve government, the whole of government approach, is the best way to go. But it's almost like started somewhere else. Don't start it with me. I'm the Ministry of XYZ. I want to award my own contracts. And so at the end of the day, you're serving, quite often, Galaxy will find itself serving unwilling customers, not because they don't understand what Galaxy does, but because they feel that they're being disempowered, that their power to own their vendors and everything is taken away. But it is what it is, and that's the way it has to be going forward. So it's still a journey, and the progress, due to no fault really of Galaxies, will continue. Even at the highest levels of decision making in government, you have people who may be inconsistent in their appreciation of the rationale for the existence of Galaxy, just to put it lightly. Yeah.
Okay. So that heads us to the next question, which is, if GBB did not exist today, what gaps would Nigeria's public sector digital transformation likely be struggling with?
Ooh, okay, so that you need a little bit of history to answer that question. What caused the existence? What triggered the existence of Galaxy is the question. The Federal Executive Council was receiving memos from multiple organizations. In fact, at the time, they counted 22 MDAs, all of whom wanted to build their own networks. Okay, and so a member of the Federal Executive, somebody who is still active in politics today, said to the president that, why are we passing all these memos? The police want their own network, these people want their own network, those people want their own network. Why are we passing all these people? Why don't we build a single platform? Okay, harmonize all government technology requirements, create them on one platform, and let everybody ride on that platform. So in terms of costs, in terms of inefficiencies, in terms of lack of interoperability and all that, your lovely data center, if that meeting, that is 20 years ago, if that didn't happen, you could best imagine the kind of chaos that would have, you would have had data centers all over the place, you'd have had networks all over the place, you'd have had dodgy contractors selling stuff to government MDAs all over the place, So Galaxy, yes, it's still a work in progress, but it brought some sanity into how government acquires and consumes technology.
Even though, yes, that touches on GBB's uniqueness, bringing together the integration and all of that, yes. So what would you say makes GBB unique as an institution, apart from its world-class infrastructure, but the culture and its people?
People like you, young people. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that GBB will have at least among the 10 youngest average age of staff. When I was MD, at the time when I took it, I think the three of us at the top were the oldest people, and the average age was 34. And that was something I was very proud of. And hopefully the gender mix, if you still have it.
Yes,
Yeah. So these are soft issues. They're not like technology, this and that, but they're human issues. Yeah.
So as Nigeria now moves deeper into this digital economy, what role do you believe GBB must play in shaping the future of GBB?
Yeah, GBB has to continue and be allowed to continue in thought leadership. It has to be a handshake between GBB and its ecosystem, its stakeholders, because it's an iterative process. GBB should have a strong research team, AI, cybersecurity, big data, blockchain. You've gone beyond infrastructure. You've dealt with infrastructure. So you should be somewhere between Galaxy GBB 2.0, GBB 3.0, which is actually now heading further up the value chain, either directly or with partners, in the technology ecosystem of Nigeria to lead in the transformation, the continuous transformation of government and its component parts. Yeah, so that's really where it should be going now.
So you've been here 2006, this is 2026, 20 years down the line. And from 2026 to 20 years into the future of GBB, in probably a sentence or two, where do you see GBB in the next 20 years?
Ooh, nice question. Where do I see GBB in the next 20 years? I imagine that it would continue to evolve. Where do I see technology in the next 20 years? Where do I see governance in the next 20 years? Okay, so in 20 years, if we're ambitious enough and we walk our talk, we should have governance whereby citizens don't leave wherever they are to acquire government services, where technology is and the government services are ubiquitous. I won't even go so far as 20 years. Quite frankly, I can't see that far. But in the next 5, 10 years, you should have the full, I know Galaxy is beginning to work on it, you should have all government services are online by virtue of fully leveraging and deploying digital public infrastructure. Galaxy should be, as its name, the B in its name pretends, should be the backbone of all that. But this time, the backbone of DPI, the payment engines for government should run through Galaxy. Of course, the identity systems will run through, and most importantly, you should have the data exchange for government, which I know Galaxy has been, even from my time, trying to work on. So what does that mean? That means that a citizen does not have to continue to feed information when they go to hospital. Hospital is not even automated, but it's not only is it automated, it is the same unique ID that the citizen presents at any given point in time, and they get a service from everybody, because government is there to serve the people, and Galaxy is there to help government serve the people. So Galaxy should be ubiquitous across everywhere, whether all the services are built in-house or just orchestrated by Galaxy. In 20 years' time, Galaxy should also not just be a consumer of technology, buying from vendors, putting a solution together and giving to clients in government. Galaxy should also begin to build its own solutions from the ground up. You know what I mean? Not, I have a partnership with Microsoft or I have a partnership with this person, but you should have Galaxy IP, Galaxy intellectual property, Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for projecting to the future for us. This is good, thank you. So on a final note, if you were to advise GBB leadership today, what key priorities should guide the organization into the next chapter?
People. Thank you.
Simple.
Yeah.
So before we let you go, I want you to look into this camera.
Okay.
It is GBB.
Yeah.
GBB's 30th anniversary, and it's all about celebration.
Okay.
So, like, you to look into this camera and wish us well.
Well, happy birthday, GBB. Great people. Keep it going. And
Sorry, her voice entered.
Okay, sorry.
okay.
Action.
Okay. Happy birthday, GBB. You still have great people. Be proud of what you have achieved and keep it going. The road ahead is still quite long, but well done.